Hey
there, can you see me? Can you hear
Yes, we
me?
can. How you doing today, buddy?
Good, how are you?
All right. Tell us where you're dialing in from.
I'm dying in from Philadelphia, or suburbs of Philly, rather. So,
Excellent. Okay. Quick 30 seconds. What is Cliquify before you
yeah.
get
Hey, thank you for the audience here, as well as you, Chris, for the opportunity. So, Clickify was born out of a basic need we had as recruiters. Me growing up in the recruiting space was how do you really simplify the job spec into Twitter-like handles, if you will, right? To really start to attract more diverse as well as more relevant talent so that the top of the recruiting funnel is higher quality than it was.
excellent. Perfect. Great definition there. All right. Well, share your screen. Let's see it, and we'll get right into the
Yeah,
product.
awesome. Let me just make sure. All right, share my screen here. Just Chris, if you could kindly confirm that you can see it.
Yep. Go ahead and just click over to your tab there. Yep.
Okay, we good?
All right. Yep. We're good.
All right. Okay, great. So from a recruiting perspective, having been in this space and leading this space for the last 15 years or so around the world, one of the challenges we had in my teams had as recruiters, including myself, was how do I quickly and easily brand my jobs without really the need to go to the marketing department every time and kind of have it in a self-service fashion. So the first thing we've done is we've created this platform that does integrate with major ATSs based on the client's requirements. But out of the box, it is available without any integration. So what I'm going to show you today is a non-integrated version of Clickify. So when the user signs up, it is a web app, so it's
Mm-hmm.
subscription based. When the user signs up, the first thing they create is a brand kit, which is the company logo, the brand colors, really based off the hex code, any imagery that the stock images that their marketing department provides. We also offer an extensive library of royalty-free images and custom brand fonts. And all in all, this ends up becoming the brand kit for the user.
Very cool.
In this case, it's the recruiter. Okay. Once that's done, you're able to connect your major handles from a social perspective. So Twitter, LinkedIn, and you can have multiple accounts. So you see here, I've got my personal LinkedIn as well as my company page, company LinkedIn account,
Mm-hmm.
and Facebook. We're soon adding Instagram into the mix here as well. Okay. Once that's done, the next step is now I'm ready to actually build my job ad. And it's a very simple, on average, it takes about 4 to 6 minutes for a recruiter on our platform to build these ads. A very simple process. You provide the job details, create the job card, review it, personalize it, and publish it across the channels I just mentioned. So here, let's say I've got a CFO job in Philly. Just enter the detailed job spec, right? And we do know, by the way, we have research that shows that 81% of candidates actually don't read the job description before they're hitting their apply button. Uh,
81%.
81%, it's a pretty high number in the information overloaded world we live in today. And it's only going to get worse, right? And so majority of the people actually just look at the title and say, hey, you know what, that this looks like it's me, I'm going to just hit apply. And not knowing all the downstream issues that happen across all the recruiters in terms of workloads and so on, right? I'm going to copy and paste the job description here. Again, it's a legal requirement in many parts of the world. So we do have machine learning built into our product as well. So that's the other reason we collect the detailed job spec to be able to actually decipher key skills and so on, which we'll talk about momentarily. Okay. So I'm going to click on next here. So this is where, based on the brand kit elements that were chosen, it's a very controlled way for look and consistency and feel. We've got about 4 templates here. We've got the fonts as well, and any custom font requirements that companies have. And you can, essentially start with a blank sheet of paper here as well, right? So I can just have something like this. You can drag and drop things and so on. Now, the key thing that we worked with, we actually worked with psychologists and a few recruiters as we're building this, is what do people remember? And sorry, I'm just going to go back to the background here, and so what do people remember in this information overloaded world we live in? It's people remember things in threes and no more than 35 to 40 characters per line. And so that's how we've built the product to really have the biggest engagement or the highest level of engagement from a psychology perspective.
It's kind of like a Google ad.
Yeah, it's like Twitter/Google. Yeah, exactly, right? So that's really what we're after, is how do you drive relevancy so people can self-select out of the process early on, right? So here, this is where the machine learning kind of kicks in. So the system is recognized. I've used the CFO job fairly regularly now. So it's saying, okay, you might want to think about board level engagement. It's not, look, it's not pretty yet. It's, it's based on training the dog, if you will, right? So over time, it's going to start to learn the behavior. Financial systems. The third thing I absolutely probably want in this job is people leadership, right? And then this also helps the alignment, actually. So a lot of our clients right now love just the simplicity of this, because it really drives the discussion between the recruiter and the hiring manager on what's absolutely required versus the nice to haves in a detailed job description that exists today. Okay. You have the key quals, right? I'm not a fan of years experience, but of course, some companies still use it. But let's say MBA preferred. I want maybe somebody who has SaaS growth experience, right? And then perhaps somebody who knows SOX controls, right, from a CFO perspective. So really, I'm boiling it down to 3 to 6 key skills. Again, it's more of an art than a science, if you will, and as it relates to what's truly required of the job. Mm-hmm. And it creates better alignment up front with the hiring manager as well, right? And then I can add imagery here. So you may remember we uploaded marketing provided imagery here. These are static images. In about 3 to 6 months, we have on our roadmap to include video capability here as well. So it could be a 10 to 15-second video on the job and so on, right? So here you can have the company-specific uploads, but we also offer a royalty-free library of imagery that recruiters can choose from. And we're categorizing it by job function. So healthcare, huge right now. Equity, diversity, and inclusion, huge, right? So you can start to send very specific messages to the talent pools out there for the same job by just building multiple cards. They just look differently for the same job. Okay. I'll save this design because that was one of the key areas, is how often do I have to rebuild? And that's the other piece we've taken into account here, is once you build this card, you can repost it as many times as you like, as long as you have the same job.
Right.
Just going to click next here. This is where, again, we've got a character limit built into this. This is where you can have a more personable message to go along with this job ad on social. So it could be the mission, values. It could be just making the job more compelling. Why is it better for society? Whatever the recruiter feels is going to start to attract the right kind of candidates, right?
Yeah, something besides we're hiring, right?
Right. And we're actually working on some lead-in questions here that are going to be added in the next iteration to help allow that thinking process around what is compelling to create, right, in terms of the personalized message. So for now, I'm just going to say hashtag women in finance, right? So I can also do hashtagging. I can tag folks here as well as then make sure that on the social channels that the tagging has gone through or translated well, right? We do offer 2 options. We've got some startups, who actually like the Cliquify applicant flow. We're not an ATS. We're simply at the top of the funnel. And then some larger clients, want to just drive the traffic to the job, the detailed job spec that's in the career site today in the ATS. So we offer both options for our clients.
Okay.
I'm going to click on save here. And next.
When did Cliquify start, by the way, Amit?
We launched about 4 months ago.
Okay, so you're brand new.
Brand new, but we've got about 4 global clients right now and about 8 more in the pipeline around the world. So
nice.
This is, I've got clients in the US, UK. We're tracking 2 in Singapore and 3 in Australia at the moment. Okay. And then the last step here is the recruiter is in complete control over when and where they want to post the job. So they can do multiple cards, multiple campaigns, and publish it based on some of the analytics I'll share with you as well. Okay. So I'm not gonna hit publish here because this is a demo, but I hit publish here, and the way it would look is something like this. This is a live feed on LinkedIn, and the candidates would actually see a link that's embedded in the ad for that job that's got some virality built into that job spec as well. And then the details are there for legal purposes and for the 19% of people who actually like reading the details. Right? Right. So we have that there. As soon as notice that we're not calling it an application, this is just simply top of the funnel. So it's really about just the opportunity, notify recruiter, and as soon as that happens, the candidate actually appears in the inbox for that particular job campaign right through Cliquify, including the resume and so on. Okay. And I think I've got like 30 seconds left. We do provide analytics as well. So for our enterprise clients, we provide recruiter activity around how all of the jobs are doing across the social channels, right, in totality, as well as we break it down by the various channels that the ads are posted in. So this way you can see what jobs work better in what social media channels, as well as which recruiter is using the product in its entirety in terms of attracting the relevant candidates to the jobs.
Very cool. Well, your time's up, Amit. We got one question actually for you.
Sure.
So Marvin asks, Gartner's research suggests that passive candidates are very interested in the job description as they're waiting for the dream job. Given your research, did you find a difference between the active and the passives in the 81% number you threw up?
Yeah, Marvin, great question. So the 81% number actually came from just online behavior from a job description, from a content perspective, right? So no way to decipher whether they're active or passive, Marvin. Sorry about that.
Gotcha. Awesome. Well, tell them where to go to learn more.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't hear what the question. Did you say?
Tell the audience where to go.
Yeah, you can learn more at Cliquify.me. There's a demo there. LinkedIn, Cliquify. I've got Twitter handle HR for Life as well. So a lot of ways to reach us.
Awesome. Well, feel free to put your link in the chat there, Amit, and appreciate your time today.